Hello, I'm Danny and welcome to BHP Bikes. Today I'm riding the Honda CRF 1000L, or the Africa Twin. Right, this is literally the first time I'm going to drive off with this, so I thought I'd stick the head cam on quickly just for this one part, because it's going to be quite amusing. Right, so stick it into drive, it's engaged, and then we're off. Twist and go. Quite literally twist and go. Very bizarre. Oh, already reaching for the clutch. Already reaching for the clutch. All we've got to do is remember to reach for the brake. Oh, very smooth gear change. Check that out. I want the clutch. So just slow down a bit. Don't think it's going to stall. Very bizarre feeling. I've just got it in normal mode. I'm not stuck it in sport just yet. I'm going to there we go. Just going to go and drive slowly for the first few minutes. Oh, huge indicators as well. Look at that green. You can't miss that, can you? Bloody hell. Ah, fuck. I didn't want to do this, did I? Straight in for filtering. And I'm normally a clutch manic on one of these. Right, it's going straight up, changing gear as well. Do not want to drop this £2,000 excess. Oh, the noise it makes. Twin sounds gorgeous. Trying to grab for the clutch again. Very busy. Is this person going to be an asshole and not move over? Yep. God, listen to that noise. That's infectious. Beautiful. Alright, first roundabout. Proper roundabout anyway. Drops in nice. Always trying to change gear. I'm in drive mode, not in sport. Oh. Feels like it's labouring. That wasn't so good. Right, I'm at 70 mile an hour. Straight away I've looked for the cruise control, which, based on the fact there's it's a cable throttle, I doubt there is going to be one. Which I think is a bit of a shame, to be honest, but you know, whatever. It's very windy, doing 70 mile an hour and it feels like I'm doing 100. That screen is doing nothing for me at all.
Spend the whole night making love. J-Dan Productions. Find it. I want you, telling you now. I want you, and I'm telling you now. Gonna find you, telling you now. I want the whole night making love. Find it, you. Let him telling you now. I want you. I'm telling you now, gonna feel your love. I love you. How much spend the whole night making love. I love you. How much I love you. We gon' get it more than 3 times. And I'll be all over the hills. And she get it more than 3 times. And I'll be going in a minute.
I'd like to give South Coast Honda a massive thumbs up for letting me use this Africa Twin for today.
This Africa Twin is a DCT model, so it's like an automatic pretty much. So you've got no gear lever on the bottom and there's no clutch either. The front wheel is 21 inches and the rear wheel is 18. The bike is stopped at the front by two 4-pot calipers, and at the rear we have got a single 2-pot caliper. Okay, so the seat height is 871mm if you're tall, and the lower seat is 851mm. And there's also a low seat option. The dash is really clear. As you can see, the indicators lights are really bright and really easy to see. We've got speedo here, you've got a rev counter through the top, your fuel gauge over here, you've got the gear you're in, the time. This is your traction control, so this tells you how much traction control you've got on. At the moment we've got it all on, and you can reduce that down. You've got your outside temperature, and you've got your miles, and you've got your engine temperature and your trip. So the controls on this is really simple. It's a Honda after all. So you've obviously got your start stop. This is where you can put the bike into neutral, drive, and then if you hold it for over 3 seconds, it will go into sport mode. And there's 3 seconds of sport mode, 1, 2 and 3, 3 being the most sportiest. This button down here means you can turn the bike to be completely manual, so you can then use the switches on the other side of the handlebars to go up and down through the gearbox. And on this side you go down through the gearbox with this button down here, and then you go up through the gearbox with this button here. You've got your headlight controls, you've got this which controls the dash up there, so you can scroll through all the options. That's obviously the set. We've got the horn. Now because this is an automatic bike, you don't have a clutch. Well, you do, but you don't have a manual clutch. And so this is basically a parking brake, and it works very well. So you pull it on and then you flick that switch up, and that puts the bike in park. Because obviously sometimes you park on a hill, you can't leave the bike in gear, so that basically does that option. So at the moment, the things I like about this bike is, on some respects I like the fact that there's no gears and no clutch. It's just like riding a scooter, so you just twist and go. But the same respect is, I do like to mess around with the gears when going through bends. I like to be in a nice low gear and, you know, just generally use the engine, a bit of revs, and, you know, gets your heart going. I quite like the styling. These two eyes are very nice. Kind of nice aggressive feel that Honda's going for at the moment. Stainless steel pipes look great. The gold upside down forks look great. You know, generally it all looks as an adventure bike should look. The exhaust sounds absolutely phenomenal. Now, I've mentioned this a few times in the head cam already, but it sounds absolutely ridiculous, and is one of the favourite features of this whole bike, is how badass that exhaust sounds. So have a listen. So as you can hear from that, it does sound very fruity, and when you're driving along, all you can hear it doing is popping and crackling, and it just sounds absolutely mental. Right, let's talk about what I don't like about this bike. Today I've been getting on and off this bike constantly when I've been flying the drone, getting the shots, and, you know, all the usual shenanigans. Every time I've got back on the bike, I've caught my foot on this handrail. It is frustratingly annoying, and I'm a tall chap, I can swing my leg over it easily, but it's constantly just catching it, and it's really pissing me off. The next thing I don't like is I appear to be getting a lot of buffeting. Now, I'm going to put it down solely to the screen, so I wouldn't say don't buy the bike for this one reason, because you can get aftermarket screens, but I just wish manufacturers would make a screen that would help taller riders, and, you know, and that's one thing that annoys me. And also, it's not adjustable either, so I can't just pull it up and put it in a higher position. That's it, what you see is what you get. One of the other things I found annoying with this today, and it's not a major issue, in fact, it's probably just something you just get used to and you learn to understand. But I've come into a couple of roundabouts and it's felt like it's in too low a gear, and there's a little bit of hesitation. It feels like the engine's labouring a bit, and I didn't like that. I just didn't like that. I didn't also realise at the time that I could actually just knock it down a gear myself using the paddle shifts. So next time it's going to happen, obviously I'll use those. One thing I always like to address on this blog is if I would buy one, and I don't know. It's very difficult to say. I've had a bit of fun on it today. I found a little tiny lame excuse for a green lane, and I've got a bit of stand-up riding on it, and it's very comfortable, and it's been good fun. But I don't know. It's been great, and the build quality is phenomenal, and it looks great, but I'm just not quite sure if it's for me. One thing I have found though is that the mirrors have been pretty perfect. I can see very well out of them, my shoulders aren't in the way, nice wide handlebars, so that has been a good thumbs up for me. I was told when I picked this up from South Coast Honda that there's about a 60-40 split of people buying these to the normal manual version, so 40% of the sales are going to DCT. Now that's quite an interesting figure. I didn't think it'd be quite as high as that. I thought it would be more like 20% maybe. So there's obviously a demand for this, and for a bike that would be an awesome commuter bike where you don't have to change gear and, you know, things like that in traffic, it would be sensational. I'm just not too sure if it'd be good while you're off-roading. I like a bit of clutch control, and, you know, there's things like that I think it might be missing out on. The Honda Africa Twin weighs about 242 kilos wet, so it's not a heavy bike really. And today found it quite easy to move it around and turn it around in tight spaces and stuff. So yeah, it's fairly nimble on that sense. I think that's enough of me waffling on now. It's probably about time we jumped back on the bike.
Right then, let's get the parking brake off, stand up, wait for the clutch again, wait for the gear again. Knock it into drive and open the throttle up gently. It was a bit sketchy coming in earlier. It all went a little bit Pete Tong. Alright. Hit and hold the drive button for Sport 3. Now on paper this bike doesn't look like it's competing with the GS and the Tiger Explorer, etc. The GS is producing about 125 horsepower, whereas this is only producing 95. The Tiger Explorer is producing about 137 horsepower, obviously compared to this 95. But the BMW GS didn't feel very quick or very powerful, whereas this really does feel powerful and a lot more fun to ride as well. Stacks and stacks of torque. As you can tell, phenomenal through the bends, loads and loads of fun, and I didn't have that with the BMW GS. I found it quite boring. So don't let the figures put you off. Seamless gear change all the way up to 60 mile an hour. Beautiful. I've not at any point today gone, oh, I wish it had more power. Not at one point. I wished I was in a lower gear every now and again, but I'm definitely getting used to it. You could have a lot of fun on the B roads. Exactly as I am now. On the motorways and stuff, I found it a little bit blowy, a little bit blustery, but a bigger screen should solve that problem. not doing license losing speeds, but the bike wants to be thrown around quite a lot. Quite comfortably thrown around as well. Power's there when you need it. Oh, 60 mile an hour feels so slow. We're in 6th gear at the moment, about 4,000 revs. We're now knocking down through the gears. 3rd gear, now straight into 2nd. Now we're in 1st, ready for us to pull off. No having to think about gear changes, absolutely phenomenal for commuting and filtering through traffic. Stay there. First class for that. I tell you, it makes a big difference, not having to worry about that clutch. I've noticed it a lot on the S1000 XR. It's real handy not having to grab the clutch and just bang through the downshifter. But this just takes that one more thing out of the equation. Go and get lost in some lanes, shall we? Go and do what this bike thrives in. Lots of gravel through here, as you know, I hate the stuff. Sounds like a proper dirt bike. I don't know where we should go. Another really cool feature of this bike is you can actually turn the ABS off to the rear wheel, so you don't have that cutting in when you're off-roading and whatnot. So that's quite a smart feature, and if you do use this bike for what it's designed to do, then it's a feature that you're probably going to no doubt love. Filtering, no clutch control to worry about. Much easier, much easier. You just got relying solely on the rear, trailing the rear brake though. Well, that's what I'm doing. And in England and the UK, filtering is not illegal. That exhaust, I know I've mentioned it millions and millions and millions and millions of times, it's just infectious, that noise. Oh, so good. So good. Right, I'm going to end the video there. So I'd like to thank South Coast Honda for lending me the bike for the day. And I'd like to thank you guys for sticking around and watching. So please do make sure you like, share, subscribe, give me the thumbs up, and I will catch you all in the next video.